many of the benefits of 5S are almost impossible to capture in a KPI because it's mindset, organization, and not direct cold hard minutes spent searching. Hello, I'm Tom. Welcome to my channel where we'll talk about continuous improvement in an industrial setting. And today we'll be talking about 5S. You see, what I often notice is that we put improvement programs, improvement teams, Kaizen, Lean into place to improve our performance. And of course, I'm all in favor of that. But that does not mean that everything, every team that you have, every effort that you expend needs to immediately track itself on that performance. 5S is really one of those programs. Now, 5S, it can drastically reduce search time for operators. It can increase production speed because everything is arranged and there when you need it. But, you know, the effort you spend on 5S generally does not give you back everything in search time or in not having the required materials time. You will, if you implement it correctly, get back your performance in general without those specific KPIs. And I think it's important to talk about that, that when you have a good 5S system in place, and this goes doubly actually also for AM, but even just the 5S, the organization and cleanliness of your workplace, it creates a different atmosphere, which is not as tangible as the money or the OEE KPIs, but it is definitely as important and maybe more important. Because when you have a workplace where things are neat and tidy and everything is there for you, it generates a different way of working, a different attitude to the work. And it's easiest to compare that with a workplace where things are missing. So we're missing the darn tool that I need right now, right? How can the company not just provide me that stuff? Or why did my so-called colleague from the previous shift grab that tool and maybe even took it home or at least misplaced it? And what kind of a clown show is this? That type of operator, well, not the type of operator, but that mindset of the operator is not going to produce very good, stable, quality products the coming shift. But think about yourself. If your computer is super slow, you've got your work laptop and it just almost falls apart, you cannot get through any of the HR systems. It just ticks you off, doesn't it? It sort of ruins your day. The same is true for any workplace. If it is a mess, but especially if things are just not there or broken, that really demotivates people. So the work ethos is just taking a nosedive. On a less conscious level, the same also happens with cleanliness. So if you walk into a well-lit, brightly painted, well-organized workplace, and walk into a factory and you can just see things everywhere, and even those paths on the ground, right? And those lines, and where do products get placed, and they just have nice corridors where you can walk and get safely to your workplace, see a bit of what's happening around you, and have an overall nice, bright place to work. That creates a good atmosphere to do good work. Now, if it's all a bit dark, if you constantly have to navigate a sort of a labyrinth in the factory where forklifts can hit you after every turn, that already sets the standard. This workplace, this company, doesn't really care about how we treat the production facility. So why should an operator care too much about how they treat the product, how they treat the machinery? Sort of company culture. So take that into your consideration of whether or not we're going to launch 5S and how much support you're going to give it. From management, make sure that 5S gets good support. And it's easy to organize the workplace, bring out the spares and the tools and the material that you need, make the time, make sure it works, because it is in your interest to get 5S going, to have a nicely organized, nice feeling workplace. But it goes a bit further also. It is a sign of respect for the worker, for the operator, whoever is working in that workplace. They will show that respect afterwards also to their colleagues and the machinery. Can I really put data into that? No, probably not. But you know that this is true. The thing is, why is 5S also a respect thing? That these type of shadow boards, many operators will even feel like it's another trick, it's another way to standardize everything and to make them into robots. Well, maybe. That is if you let your quality department make the cleaning shadow boards. Because you know what they will do? They are not the ones at the workplace, right? They will put a very nice board there, very nice shadows, big title, this is Department 5 cleaning stuff. It is the same as Department 4, 3, 2 and 1. It is placed 10 meters away from where you actually need it. And it doesn't help the operator. Well, it's nice that they got their stuff relatively close, but not really where they need it. They got a lot of cleaning equipment, but they would have liked 2 pairs of gloves because they generally clean this machine with the 2 of them. And they don't really need that type of broom because you cannot clean here anyway. So if you got that type of cleaning board centrally designed and the operators are using half of the tools and sort of scrambling, and you see some tools lying somewhere near their workplace that they use a bit extra. Anytime, by the way, when you see brooms or other cleaning tools somewhere close to the line, that's probably the place where they should have been in the first place, right? 5S is not about the nice board. You put this in place close to the operator. If they do not even need the small and the large key, just get rid of it, right? This one I'm quite sure they do need because somebody nicked it. So maybe you even put 2 in place, but only put in place what the operator needs. Involve them in it. Have the discussions within the team. Maybe one operator on the same line does really like to have that small key. The other doesn't. Why? And you find out that that first operator sort of uses it as a lever. Okay, there's a better solution for that. Let's make that solution for you. So don't say, no, you're not allowed to have it, because they will stash it somewhere. Why are they using it? And then make it into a nice standard, make it into an option. It's not per se needed, although I know I'm here on a bit of a slippery slope, but it's not even per se needed that everyone uses exactly the same tools. You can put, for instance, 2 versions of a tool that has a similar goal onto the board just because, different people like a different movement in their wrists. That's okay, but only put the stuff there that they need. Put it close to where they're going to use it. Make it for them. And that is also, I just wanted to share one of those sort of examples. I see it, unfortunately, way too often, and this is 5S for management. We've got these 2 production lines. They are fed with pallets of material, and we got these nice 4 places to put our materials. Now, this forklift will try to get it in, but it doesn't really work. If you would put it in like that, you cannot back up far enough. So he will put the pallet like that. A bad 5S manager will say, hey, what did you do? And then some expletives. Put it into its place. A place for everything and everything in its place. Get it in there. So, okay, bloody manager is here. Let's try to wiggle it into place. A smart 5S manager will say, aha, this was not designed for those people. Somebody who actually respects the operators will say, oh, and maybe even change these around a bit. Because if you can just drive them in straight, that's great, but maybe even they need to be switched. So you make the rules of 5S, this standardization based on it. Where do you place things? What do you place there? But also how do you get it in there? Make these rules based on what your people need. The ones doing the actual work, they should be designing what they need to do it in a good way. Now, of course, this has to be a combination, right? It's not just the forklift driver, it's also the operators. You have to balance what is easy for the operators to get, what do they need, versus what is possible to do with the forklift and logistics. But they will work it out. And the nice, square, symmetric places to put things, that is only for managers and auditors and consultants, hopefully not like me, but no, that is for people looking in from the outside who just want to see a pretty picture. But that is not 5S. Real respect for your people means that you don't make a beautiful 5S, you make a functional 5S. You give them what they need, not the nonsense, and as soon as you get that into your whole organization, into that culture, you will see that granting that respect, that autonomy also to your operators and to all of the people doing the actual work, you will get that respect back. And probably more important, the other colleagues, the products, the machines will get that respect. It pays forward. So implementing 5S, usually not about the search time for a key. It really pays itself back in just overall enjoyment of the workplace, or at least not having the workplace and your tools hinder you in doing good work. 95% of people just want to do their job in a nice way. They want to do good work, so don't hinder them. 5S is about allowing them to do it in an optimal way. Think what they need, organize what they need, make it a pleasant place to work, and the work will become so much better. Now, I hope that triggered a couple of thoughts about how you want to work with 5S, what you want to do within your organization, or maybe just bring this to your manager, discuss it. This was actually a video that came from a viewer question, and they use my videos in their group, so with groups of colleagues, to just discuss and see how they can implement it. It's wonderful. I love it. I really like you to do those things. In fact, if you can just give me suggestions on how my videos would be more useful for you to share with your colleagues and to actually use as a starter for discussion and a resource for learning, do that. I'm not here to just make videos. I want to help you improve your organization. So any of those ideas, drop a comment below. I hope that you like this bit of a rant, but especially the idea of getting the respect and the work ethos through 5S. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. For now, I wish you the best of luck implementing 5S correctly. And as always, don't forget to also enjoy the continuous improvement journey.